Episode 3 of Building the Box podcast today. A few things we've upgraded. We're now using a wireless mic. A few complaints from people previously about the mic, so I hope you appreciate the effort here. And then, secondly, we are now at the back of the office, so this is like the breakout area. So we have like a pool table to my left here. You can actually see the scoreboard from when we played and like the recent stuff do. And then to my right, we have the table football. And we also have some like free seats and like a sofa. It's pretty cool. A lot's happened in the last week. A few things I want to jump into. Number one is this really cool arrival we had come in. Now, normally the cool stuff that comes in here is just football shirts, but this one I've been waiting on for about 4 months, and it's not a football shirt. It's even better. It takes you right back to your childhood. It's a claw machine. A few people might have already seen it. I posted it up on my Instagram. Got a lot of love. What is a claw machine doing? Why are we buying one? Because I want to take us into like a physical presence, like not just purely e-commerce. And we're not ready for stores, but I thought a claw machine could work. The idea actually came about from my friend Jamie again, 2 podcasts in a row. Jamie, you're getting a mention. We got offered like 20,000 footballs maybe a year and a half ago, and we were like, "How do you sell 20,000 footballs?" And he's like, "Put it in a claw machine." And then I was like, "What if we just had one that we used for mystery boxes?" So a few steps and failures in there along the way. We actually bought an old claw machine for like £500, and we thought we'll just like repaint it, rejig it, and we'll have it at the Christmas market. So we did that. It was hella ugly. We couldn't stick it anywhere. So it now just sits. It's to my left here. It is a relic. So yeah, the new one is super cool. Hopefully, we need to figure out where to put it. So we're just getting it fully set up now. Have to get like the card payments and stuff installed. It's tap to play. It's gonna be £2 to play. Pays out 1 in 20 roughly. So pretty good odds, I think. And where are we gonna put it? I don't know where's best here. Like it's gonna be a big trial and error. We were thinking sports bars or put it into like a shopping centre or even football stadiums or five-a-side pitches or gyms. I don't know. We have to figure out, and we'll have to figure out how the model works. Like, do you pay the rent for the space, or do you split profits with the space provider? I'm not too sure. It's a whole new business. But yeah, even if it doesn't do well, I think it's just cool for branding's sake. Like branding, not brand on. Uh, People will like walk past it and they'll see it. Like you see the Huel machines. You don't see them here in Northern Ireland, but you see them in England, like all over London, the Huel vending machines. So it just reinforced like more marketing. And I think that could be a really cool benefit as well as the content. We could get influencers to play it, or we could just set up a live stream. Like I'd watch that, people just failing to lift a shirt over and over and over again. Like, why are they choosing that shirt? So yeah, that's brand new. If it goes well, we shall order hundreds of them and get them all over the UK, maybe into the US. But yeah, we're very early stages. Just got to figure out where. So if you have an idea, get in touch. The second topic I want to cover is 3PL. So we have went with one in the US, and I don't know if I told you who specifically it was previously. It's a guy called Cody from Ship Smarter, and I really like the vibes we were getting off him. So last Friday basically got what can only be described as one of the worst calls you can get at Friday afternoon. Royal Mail rang us up and they go, "Yeah, you see all those orders you're sending to the US? You can't send them after today." And we already knew with the Trump de minimis legislation coming in, we couldn't send it before. Like we thought the cutoff was 29th to 30th. We maybe thought they'd say like a few days before you can't send anything else. But to say this and let us know on the last day of the week 3 p.m. as we're sending it out the door. It just sums up Royal Mail kind of. Like the guy's very good. Don't get me wrong. We enjoy the banter with him, but there's just no planning there from their end. So anyway, jumped onto the phone with Cody. We were talking. Okay, we need to get this set up right away. We're shirts in Turkey. We're shipping them straight to you. He was a gent. Got it all set up. He comes across really well. As in, he said he's got 15 people reached out to him since the Trump de minimis things. He's only decided to work with two, and that's because he likes our brand. I think we have a good relationship. He also just comes across as an ordinary bloke. Like we were talking about bets and beers for about 20 minutes. Logan Paul and Jake Paul. So yeah, hopefully gonna fly over in the next 2 months. See what the operation's like. He says no one actually ever goes over to visit his HQ, so that might be interesting. Film that. I've also started posting some short form clips of this podcast. So it's going up on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. There's one other I'm forgetting, Facebook. I might start posting on LinkedIn. I don't know if the short form goes well on the LinkedIn. And a large part of this is the assistant I brought on recently. So I'm still debating whether this is like good value for money, but it's good for this. Like I wouldn't be able to do the podcast if it wasn't for having an assistant. So I signed on to the service called Athena. I'd seen some people talking about it on Twitter, and it's basically they assign you assistant, so you go through like a rigorous onboarding, and then they match. They're kind of like a recruiter, except they always stay with the assistant. So the assistant works is employed by them. You pay them, and they train up the assistant. They train you on how to delegate better. It's good because it means you don't just have to hold your assistant accountable; they can hold the assistant accountable, and they also give you like resources and stuff to make it better. So we are probably either 60 days into this. I don't think we're 90 days in. And so far, so good. There's a lot of teething issues, so a lot of frustrations on my side, and I'm sure on my assistant's side. Stuff where like communication gets missed. But in terms of so far, she's taken off my plate emails, LinkedIn posts, this posting. A few other things like just filling in spreadsheets. I think the next step is to try and get her to do more complex tasks without really heavy SOPs. But so far, that's been a bit of a struggle. So yeah, something I need to work on. But I think getting an assistant is definitely valuable. I don't know if Athena is the best service or not, but I'm liking it so far. I'll give it a proper review maybe in another 2 months' time when I've had a longer kind of time period, because I do think there's a process of getting to know your assistant and getting systems set up, because it's a change for yourself too. I also got a huge unlock this week, and the lads were kind of taking the piss out of me for it. So as you know, we do the book club every week, and the amount of books I'm having to read was getting on top of me. I can do 15 pages a day comfortably, but anything more and it gets to me. I just can't find the time. I'm very busy. What I discovered was, well, I kind of always knew about it, but was audiobooks. And I always turned my nose up with them. But I decided, because I was falling behind, I needed to try them. So I got Audible when I was going to the gym, just stuck it on, and it's a game changer. I fly through the books now. I've only done 2 gym sessions with it, but I think I've got through one book already and started another. When normally I'm like struggling to find a podcast to listen to, or I'm just listening to the same music over and over. So this is definitely a game changer. I'd recommend trying it. It's pretty cheap as well. Audible's like £7 a month or something like that. I think it might be cheaper than even just having buying books, but I need to check that. It's good, and I feel like I learn better when I'm listening to it than when I'm reading it, because sometimes you just read paragraphs and you're like your mind's somewhere else, you're thinking about something else, and so you just don't retain that information that you've read. So yeah, podcasts and audibles, I feel, are better for learning. Also, I'm just off a call there with IntelliGems. So this has been quite painful the last 2 weeks. I've been trying to set this up. But in the UK, we are now going to try subscription only or increasing the prices. So by the time this video is live, or shortly after this video, hopefully the test will be live itself. And the idea there is just we're very cheap. We haven't changed price in 4 years, and inflation's been crazy high, especially in the UK. Like prices must have increased on average by like 20% over the last 4 years since we started. So I feel like it's maybe time to increase the price, especially football jerseys. They're like £90 for a new jersey, and we are £35 if you subscribe, which is real unbelievable value. But I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not increasing prices. So we're testing that, and then subscription only, because we're like 45% subscription in the UK, and one-time purchases are, they're good, but they're just, people don't really come back. Like they either buy it as a gift for somebody or they just do it as a novelty one-off. And I feel like those subscribers who are like collecting for themselves or they're collecting for somebody else, that's the audience that is the true customer for us, who gives the real value. So we will get that test live and we'll see how it comes in. Like the few things we're monitoring there are conversion rate, and then in IntelliGems you can track profit per user and per visitor and revenue per visitor. So yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. And then the final thing that's just been annoying me this week is, do we need a director or somebody in charge of growth? Because normally I have to lead that internally, and my time's very split as it is. So basically look across everything as manager, director, CEO, whatever you want to call the title, founder, but also in charge of mainly ads management and website development. I feel like we could be better served if I hired someone to do this, and we either hire an agency who's very skilled, costs a lot, but you don't get a lot of time because they're splitting their time across 3 4 different other clients, or we hire someone internally who's a lot of experience. The problems there is, just because we're in office working in Belfast, there's not very many people in Belfast who will have the experience we want for this project. Or thirdly, we just hire someone young and who's willing to learn, and who has willing to learn but also smart with it too. The third one kind of appeals to me because it kind of fits our ethos, and it's probably the slowest of the lot, but maybe it could be more sustainable in the long term. The problem is just finding someone who's young and hungry and who's willing to come into this, because a lot of people, especially young and hungry people, get dragged into like the big four or like a law firm or something, they get lucrative opportunities, or opportunities where there's like a proven career path, or it's more steady than this, or just more awareness of like the other opportunities than this. So, and it's tough. I don't know how a recruiter goes about and finds people like that, but I guess that's going to play on my mind for the next week or so, what to do with that, maybe even longer. So any suggestions there are much appreciated. Okay, gonna wrap this week up. Any comments, drop them. Any questions, hit me a message. Appreciate all the support so far, and hopefully you're enjoying the episodes. I'll see you next week.